The Harris family mansion was once a symbol of Black excellence, a fortress of the family hustle. But tonight, that fortress has crumbled into a pile of betrayal and ass. We have just received a leaked, high-definition recording that is sending shockwaves through the entire industry. T.I.'s daughter has finally broken her silence, and what she just exposed isn't just a family argument. It is a brutal, heart-wrenching revelation that explains why King Harris is officially banned from the family home forever. You've seen the arrests, you've seen the Pikachu onesie, and you've seen the social media defiance, but you have never seen the dark, behind-the-scenes reality of what happened inside those mansion walls on the night the locks were changed. The betrayal is so deep that T.I. reportedly collapsed when he realized the truth. His daughter didn't just speak. She screamed the truth that the public was never supposed to hear. This isn't about a son being a rebel. It's about a son becoming a dangerous liability to his own flesh and blood. Stay exactly where you are, because we are about to play the clips and reveal the exact moment the Harris family changed forever. You are not ready for the reason why King Harris can never step foot on his father's property again, and the twist at the end of the story will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about Tip and Tiny. To understand the explosion that just rocked the Harris household, we have to look back at the cracks that have been forming for years. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, built an empire on the foundation of respect, discipline, and family loyalty. We watched them for years on the family hustle, seeing a father who wanted his children to have the life he never did, a life far away from the traps of the Atlanta streets. But for King Harris, that luxury became a cage, and the privilege became a weapon. For the last 3 years, the tension between T.I. and King has been a ticking time bomb, and tonight, we are finally seeing the fallout of a legacy built on thin ice. It started with small acts of defiance, videos of King claiming he was from the trenches despite growing up in a multi-million-dollar mansion with a private chef and world-class security. T.I. tried to laugh it off, then he tried to discipline him, and then came the infamous Falcons game incident. Who could forget that? The world watched in horror as King screamed in his father's face, claiming T.I. was lying about his upbringing. The physical altercation in the stands was the first time we saw the raw, unfiltered hatred in King's eyes. It was the moment the public realized that the family hustle was no longer a reality show, it was a reality nightmare. But it wasn't just the public outbursts. Behind the scenes, insider sources close to the family, people who have worked in the mansion for over a decade, claim that King began bringing a dangerous element into the home. We are talking about unvetted associates, late-night confrontations, and a total disregard for the safety of his younger siblings. Tiny Harris, the glue of the family, was reportedly caught in the middle, crying herself to sleep as she watched her husband and son turn into mortal enemies. Every time T.I. tried to pull him back, King pushed further away, deeper into a persona that the rest of the family found increasingly terrifying. King's legal troubles in 2022 and 2024 were supposed to be wake-up calls. Each time, T.I. used his massive influence and wealth to bail him out, hoping that the cold steel of a jail cell would finally teach his son a lesson. But instead of humility, King returned with more arrogance. He started seeing himself as a martyr for the rap game, a rebel without a cause. By the time 2026 rolled around, the Harris name was being dragged through the mud daily. The Pikachu onesie arrest was the tipping point of public embarrassment, but the daughter's recent exposure reveals that something much more sinister was happening behind those closed doors. The background of this conflict is rooted in a deep ideological war. T.I. represents the man who escaped the struggle to provide a better life, while King represents the son who is desperate to prove he belongs in the struggle his father fought to leave behind. This clash of identities has turned the family mansion into a war zone. Insiders claim that for months, King was living in the guest house, barred from the main quarters, but even that wasn't enough to stop the chaos. The tension between his sisters and him reached a boiling point when King allegedly started recording private family arguments to use as leverage. This drama was never about a simple rebellious phase. It was a calculated departure from everything the Harris family stood for. According to leaked reports, T.I. had issued a final warning in early 2026, "Respect this house, or lose your place in it." King's response was a middle finger to the camera and a series of provocative social media posts that targeted his own father's street credibility. The stage was set for a final confrontation, a moment where the blood bond would finally snap. This introduction to the madness is just the beginning. The real reason King was dragged out of the mansion involves a betrayal so personal that his own sister couldn't stay silent any longer. The Harris legacy is on life support, and the next revelation is what finally pulled the plug. The atmosphere inside the Harris mansion on the night of April 18th was reportedly suffocating, a thick blanket of tension that felt like a physical weight on everyone present. According to a leaked audio transcript from a high-level security staffer, someone who has been part of T.I.'s inner circle for years, a massive confrontation erupted in the main foyer that changed the family's trajectory forever. This wasn't just a shouting match, it was a total collapse of order. T.I.'s daughter, who has spent years as the quiet observer of this unfolding madness, finally reached her breaking point. The scene she describes is chaotic: shattered glass, screaming matches that could be heard from the edge of the property, and a private security team that was forced to draw their weapons, not against an outside intruder, but against one of their own. The conflict ignited when King Harris allegedly arrived at the house at 2 a.m. with 3 associates who had been specifically and permanently barred from the property due to prior incidents. When the elite security team tried to stop the group at the gate, King didn't just argue. He reportedly used his personal emergency access code to bypass the entire biometric system, leading a group of unvetted, aggressive individuals directly into the heart of the home. Imagine the panic. At that hour, the younger children were sleeping just a few hallways away. The leaked messages from the daughter to a close friend, which have since been circulating in private industry circles, describe a night of pure terror. He brought them right into the living room like he was leading an invasion. They were armed, they were shouting, and King was acting like he owned the place. I've never seen Dad this scared and this angry at the same time. He looked like he was watching his whole life's work be threatened by his own son. T.I. reportedly emerged from his suite to find King and his crew occupying the main living area, treating the multi-million-dollar estate like a trap house. The confrontation was brutal. T.I. demanded that the outsiders leave immediately, but King stood his ground in front of his associates, desperate to maintain his tough guy image. He reportedly shouted, "This ain't your kingdom no more, old man. These are my people, and they go where I go." The betrayal was deep, but it was about to get much darker. Tiny Harris was reportedly seen hyperventilating in the kitchen, begging King to listen to reason, but he was too far gone, fueled by a dangerous mix of adrenaline and a need for street validation. As the argument reached its peak, the security team moved in to forcibly remove the associates. That's when the first major twist occurred, a revelation that turned T.I.'s anger into pure, cold horror. As the guards were escorting the outsiders out, one of them dropped a folder, a physical folder containing sensitive documents. But these weren't just any papers. Upon inspection, T.I. realized they were copies of the mansion's internal blueprints, security camera blind spots, and digital access logs. The daughter's exposure highlights a vile betrayal that goes beyond any rebellious phase. King hadn't just brought friends over for a party. He was allegedly caught on internal surveillance, handing over these sensitive details to these individuals earlier that evening. The realization hit T.I. like a freight train. His own flesh and blood was reportedly compromising the family's physical and financial safety just to pay off a debt or earn a favor from people who see the Harris family as nothing but a target. King was effectively acting as an inside man against his own father. The daughter's leak suggests that King was attempting to tax his father's estate, essentially allowing these associates to scout the house for a potential high-stakes robbery to cover King's mounting external liabilities. The emotional fallout was instantaneous and devastating. T.I. didn't scream anymore. He went silent. That cold, calculated silence that usually precedes a life-altering decision. He reportedly looked at King and said, "You didn't just break the rules. You broke the blood bond." The twist was that King's street life wasn't a separate world anymore. He had brought the danger directly to the pillows where his sisters and brothers slept. But as bad as a security breach sounds, as bad as selling blueprints seems, The daughter hinted in her exposure that this was only the tip of the iceberg. What they discovered on King's encrypted phone after the guards wrestled it away from him during the scuffle was a digital betrayal so deep it makes the physical breach look like child's play. The first twist was just the opening act of a much larger, much more sinister play of revenge. As the news of the mansion ban began to leak, social media didn't just react, it exploded. Within hours, the hashtag Harris betrayal was trending worldwide, fueled by a fake but devastatingly detailed Twitter thread from a verified ex-bodyguard who claimed to have seen the entire mansion showdown. But the second twist, dropped by T.I.'s daughter in a cryptic, tear-filled 3 a.m. Instagram Live, changed the narrative from a family feud to a full-blown national scandal. She didn't just talk about the security breach or the blueprints. She dropped a term that has since sent the tech and music industries into a panic: the digital Judas. The daughter revealed that King Harris hadn't just been bringing outsiders into the home. He had allegedly been acting as a human Trojan horse. She sobbed into the camera, claiming that King had secretly installed high-end, military-grade listening devices, bugs, in T.I.'s private home office and the family's dining room. He wasn't just wearing a wire. He was wired the whole house, she screamed to over 150,000 live viewers. This wasn't just about street credit anymore. This was sophisticated corporate and personal espionage. The industry backlash was instantaneous. Major hip-hop moguls and business partners who have spent decades dealing with T.I. started distancing themselves, terrified that their private legal and financial discussions might have been captured and sold by King. The shocking reveal got even darker when a fake TMZ breaking alert claimed that King had been selling these private audio clips to an offshore gossip conglomerate for months. The daughter hinted that the digital Judas files didn't just contain business talk. They reportedly contained deeply personal, incriminating conversations about T.I.'s past, conversations that could potentially reignite federal investigations that T.I. had long since put behind him. The question on everyone's lips was chilling. Was King Harris actually trying to send his own father back to federal prison just to prove he was realer than the man who raised him? As this revelation spread, the backlash from the hip-hop community was brutal. Industry titans who usually stay silent on family matters began posting cryptic messages about snakes in the crib. A fake leaked DM from a legendary Atlanta producer surfaced, allegedly telling T.I., "Tip, you gotta cut the cord before he pulls the whole building down on us. This ain't rap beef. This is a life sentence." The pressure on T.I. reached an unbearable level. He wasn't just fighting his son. He was fighting to protect his entire legacy from being dismantled by his own DNA. But here is the cliffhanger that has kept the internet awake for 48 hours. During her live, T.I.'s daughter suddenly stopped talking, her eyes widening as someone off-camera whispered to her. She looked back at the screen, her face pale, and said, "Wait, there's more." They found a second phone, a hidden one. And it's not just Dad's voice on there. It's all of us. Every single one of us. Before she could explain what she meant, the live was abruptly terminated and her entire account was deactivated. This new revelation raises terrifying new questions. If King was recording the whole family, what was his ultimate goal? Was he working alone? Or was he being manipulated by a much larger shadow organization looking to take down the King of the South? The silence from the Harris camp since that live has been deafening, leaving the public in a state of high-intensity suspense. The digital Judas files are out there, and the rumor mill is spinning with whispers that the most damaging clip, the one that could end the Harris family forever, is scheduled to be leaked by a mysterious Team Rocket group on Friday night. The escalation has reached its peak. We are no longer watching a family argument. We are watching the potential public execution of a dynasty. The internet is currently a digital battlefield, and the dust shows no sign of settling. On one side of the trenches, you have the King loyalists, a vocal group of younger followers who claim that T.I. is a hypocrite and that King is simply a product of the very environment T.I. glamorized for decades in his music. Tip built his career on being a hustler. Now that his son is doing the same, he's mad? That's not parenting, that's ego. One viral tweet with over 200,000 likes read, These supporters see King as a misunderstood rebel who is forced to take extreme measures to prove his authenticity in a world that constantly calls him privileged. But on the other side, the overwhelming majority of the public is paralyzed with disgust. Fans who grew up watching the family hustle are mourning the loss of the family unit like it's a personal tragedy. Social media is flooded with old clips of a young, innocent King hugging his father, edited with somber music and captions like, "How did it come to this?" and "The death of a dynasty." The digital Judas revelation has turned the tide of public opinion heavily against King. For many, recorded family members in their own home is an unforgivable sin, a violation of the code that even the streets respect. The industry reaction has been even more savage. A fake leaked memo from a major distribution label allegedly informed T.I.'s representatives that they were pausing all upcoming projects involving the Harris brand until the full extent of the data breach is known. This isn't just about gossip, it's about liability. If King's recordings contain private industry secrets, the legal fallout could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Legendary hip-hop moguls have started picking sides. A fake but highly publicized Instagram story from a New York rap icon featured a picture of a snake with the caption, "I'd rather have 1,000 enemies outside my gate than one son inside who sells my secrets." Stay strong, tip. The debate has moved beyond just the Harris family. It's now a national conversation about new money versus old values. Investigative vloggers are making 4-hour deep dive live streams, frame by frame, analyzing the daughter's tearful Instagram live. One theory gaining massive traction is that King was being coached by a rival entity to intentionally dismantle T.I.'s empire from the inside out. The controversy is being further fueled by King's own defiant responses. He recently updated his Instagram bio to, "The truth will set me free, even if it burns the house down." Division is everywhere. In the barbershops of Atlanta, people are arguing over whether T.I. failed as a father, or if King is simply beyond saving. Major news outlets have picked up the story, with talking heads debating parental responsibility in the age of viral fame. The consensus? This is a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. But even as the public argues, the most chilling reaction came from T.I. himself, not through a statement, but through a single action. He reportedly wiped his entire Instagram grid, leaving only a black square. The industry is holding its breath. Every major podcast, from The Breakfast Club to Drink Champs, is reportedly bidding for the first exclusive interview with any member of the family. But as the world watches and waits, a new statement from a mysterious insider suggests that the public hasn't even seen the worst of it. The statement claims that King Harris has a kill switch, a final set of files ready to be released if T.I. doesn't meet his demands. The public and industry are no longer just observers. They are witnesses to a catastrophic implosion that is redefining the meaning of family betrayal. Just when the world thought the Harris family saga couldn't get any more twisted, a final, catastrophic revelation has emerged that changes the entire motive behind this war. T.I.'s daughter, in a final, frantic voice note posted to a burner account before vanishing from the digital world entirely, dropped a bombshell that makes the digital Judas recordings look like a minor misunderstanding. She didn't just talk about betrayal. She hinted at a master lie that has been the foundation of King's entire life. King didn't just wake up one day and decide to hate us, she whispered in the distorted audio. He found something. A file in the basement safe that Dad thought he had destroyed 20 years ago. King thinks he's found proof that he's not who they say he is. The implications sent the internet into a total tailspin. Is King Harris not T.I.'s biological son? Or is there a deeper, darker secret involving a hidden marriage or a past legal cover-up that King is now using as his ultimate weapon of revenge? The daughter's exposure suggests that King's rebellion wasn't a phase. It was a calculated counterstrike for a life he believes was built on a massive, systemic deception. But the twist goes even deeper. Reports are now surfacing that King didn't just leave the mansion after being banned. He was reportedly seen meeting with a high-powered legal team that specializes in estate dismantling. The cliffhanger that has everyone terrified is a leaked photo of a legal document titled The Harris Succession Challenge. It appears King is no longer just trying to be a rapper. He is attempting to legally seize control of the Grand Hustle empire, claiming that T.I.'s King of the South title and the millions that come with it actually belongs to a trust that King has discovered he is the sole rightful heir to. T.I. has reportedly gone into total dark isolation. The mansion is silent. The heavy iron gates are chained shut, and for the first time in his career, the man who always has something to say is absolutely speechless. Insider sources say he was seen sitting in his home studio for 18 hours straight, staring at the security monitors, waiting for a son who is never coming home. But the real kicker? King Harris just posted a countdown on his Instagram story. No caption, no music, just a ticking clock that ends in 24 hours with the location tagged as the truth's final destination. Is King about to drop the DNA results that will end the Harris legacy forever? Or is he about to release the kill switch audio that will send T.I. back to court? The daughter's final words in that voice note were, "If King releases that last file, the T.I. the world knows will die, and the Harris family will be a ghost story." The stakes have moved beyond a house ban. We are now witnessing the potential total erasure of a hip-hop dynasty. The countdown is ticking, the files are loaded, and the final betrayal is only hours away. Stay tuned, because the Harris War is about to enter its most lethal phase, and none of us are safe from the fallout. This is the most explosive breakdown we have ever covered, and now the floor is yours. Is King Harris a victim of a dark family secret, or a cold-blooded traitor who deserves to be banned forever? Was T.I. right to lock the gates, or is he hiding a truth that could ruin him? Drop Team Tip or Team King in the comments right now. We are reading every theory. Like and subscribe with notifications on, because that 24-hour countdown is ticking, and we will be the first to leak the DNA results. Don't miss the final explosion.